What's poppin', everybody? Hello and welcome to Popcorn Culture. My name is Ben Carlin and I am your host. Here with me today is my brother Jay, who will be in every episode.
The other host, as I am often known.
Not very frequently.
By everybody.
Not often, no. Most people, when they email me about the show, they say, "Dearest Benjamin."
Have you been getting different email requests?
Yes, absolutely.
Greetings.
You guys have delivered in spades, as it were. Somebody, I believe, emailed me once upon a time and said, "Dearest Benjamin," and I was like, "Oh, how great is that?" And people have been sending me these spectacularly long, informal introductions.
Oh, amazing!
Yes, they're all so good, but most of them involve the very, very, very clear and obvious distinction that I am, in fact, the true host.
Well, there's no doubt that you're at present the one true host, but also I am the other host.
Well, special guest. We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there. Ben, do you have a corny joke for us today?
Kind of.
Yeah?
Kind of. I have a couple of them here that I think are just funny.
Oh, okay.
Jay, what is remarkable?
Just what is remarkable?
Yeah.
Just in general?
Just in
general. That's the joke. That's the setup.
That's a setup.
What's remarkable? What is remarkable?
Oh, you're onto it. You're circled.
Oh
yeah, you're there. I can feel it.
I'm gonna go like the same rough draft I handed in for the first the final draft. I don't know. It's remarkable. I didn't change it. It's the same paper.
It's the same paper.
That's a popcorn culture joke, right?
That is. Yes,
Yeah.
my early and confused belief of how rough drafts worked.
Could you go home and write a 5-page paper to turn in this Friday? It's just the rough draft.
So, but yeah,
Great.
in my mind,
the final draft would be due next Friday. You're like, but it's done. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, in my mind, the rough draft meant like you intentionally made it bad so that you could correct it later.
Oh, you would actively.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, I think I told you that, like, I think literally at first I literally was writing with like worse handwriting.
Oh.
Thinking that like, because this was like a handwritten rough draft, not even typed.
I see.
Anyway.
My opinion was the opposite. It was like, why wouldn't I just write it as good as I could the first time?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, my belief was like, of course I would just write it the correct way the first time. So like, I don't know. In my mind, I guess it didn't even occur to me that I would have like typos or errors that needed correcting.
But that's not even what, like, that's only like the base of what they're going for. It's like, yeah, go back and correct your grammar and your typos and your spelling. But that's more like, I don't even know, just like reviewing your paper. That's like hitting spell check.
Yeah.
You know, this is like what they want you to do is to revise the paper, to like rewrite it better.
Right. Okay.
You know, which to me is like, what, again, it's like, to me now feels so obvious. Like, yes, that is very good practice. You should probably rewrite your papers way more than once.
Here is the thing, though, is that I feel like very frequently, and maybe I have this wrong, maybe memory doesn't serve me, but I feel like you were graded on rough drafts on some capacity. But like now, if we were writing a script for like a video for the Super Carlin Brothers YouTube channel, we might like literally have a note in our literal rough draft that says, we need a paragraph like elaborating or make jokes about this. And we might literally put into the script the words, add more here.
Right.
Like more jokes needed or, you know, like something like that. And I feel like if I were to like have turned in a research paper to Miss Price, my 9th grade English teacher, and it have gotten like to the bottom of a paragraph assessing Romeo and Juliet, and it said like, learn more about this. Like, I will, in the future, I will elaborate more, but I haven't yet.
Right.
Like, that would have felt like a completely unacceptable thing to do, but in my adult life would be exactly appropriate for a rough draft.
Like, why couldn't I write my introductory paragraph and then have 3 sentences that say, insert first point, second point, third point, conclusion.
Write a conclusion.
Write a conclusion. This is my rough draft. This is an outline. But no, see, I had the introduction. So.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Outlines.
Draft.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
The pure fury of doing as much work as humanly possible to do something that I really, really, really didn't want to do.
Well, this is the other thing about rough drafts. Is you're right. They would give you a grade, but it wouldn't like count. It's like, this would be your grade if this was the final paper.
Right.
So I would just go through and be like, okay, I'll add this comma. I'll change this one sentence. I'll spell this word correctly. All right, I made all the changes. Now I'm at 100, right?
Right.
Somehow no.
Somehow no. Ridiculous.
You said change these things. This is what was wrong.
Oh, there was nothing that made me more frustrated than when they would like tell you to put a comma in, and then you would put the comma there, and you would get the final paper back, and they were like, you shouldn't have had a comma here. And it was like, you told me to do that.
How dare you?
How dare you? Anyway, the thing that is remarkable is whiteboards.
Oh, I was so close.
You were
I
so
love
close.
whiteboards.
I know, me too. Whiteboards are like literally my fave.
Yeah.
I am at the point where like whiteboards have like infiltrated my life in such a massive way because I want them like everywhere.
Yeah.
I really, really, for one, I love the way that the markers write.
So
like
smooth.
It's so smooth. It's so nice, very satisfying. I think I even kind of like the scent of the markers themselves. Not that I like specifically like breathe them in, but like
you huffing marks over
no,
there?
I'm not huffing
Dude,
marks.
Okay, hold on. Story time.
Okay.
Beth, when she was pregnant with Luke, she was that was her last year of teaching full time. After that, she decided to stay home, watch Luke. But that meant that we had to go and clean out her classroom prior to her leaving school.
Okay.
Right? So in the process of doing this, you come across not just all the stuff that Beth has put in there for the past 5 years of teaching,
The general detritus.
You come across the leftover supplies that the teacher before her decided this can be left in the classroom.
Sure.
And the teacher before that, and the teacher before that. Like there's just a collection of haphazard school supplies that someone didn't want to deal with, so they left them in the classroom.
So you guys, when you cleaned out, clearly you pressed the reset button harder than literally any teacher before you ever had.
But we like to do things the proper way.
Oh, well, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, no one else and everyone else it's almost like a legacy thing. It's like, how would you leave?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
broken colored pencils.
Okay, so do you remember when we were kids at our old house, we had a pack of scented markers?
Yes, I do.
Yes. I remember thinking these scented markers, these are so fun. I loved them as a kid, and I was immediately told, "Don't smell them. They'll make you sick. The effects of smelling them are horrible.
Don't huff marks.
Don't." Yeah, right. But to me, this was like the most disheartening thing. It was like, this is so cool. Markers that smell like cherry and grape and, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
But then they're like, don't smell them. It's like, then why do we have them? What was the point?
What's the point of the scent if you can't smell the scent?
I know. And I don't know if this was like being told to me by adults, and probably what they meant was don't stick it up your nose and breathe deep, It's probably okay to smell it on the paper, but like sometimes this is the sort of information that'll get into like some other kids' heads as like clearly their parents were like, don't smell the markers. And so if another kid sees you doing it, they're like, you're doing a bad thing. Like you're being,
sure.
like
that was like childhood policing.
That was like childhood policing.
Yeah.
Gosh, I could go down another tangent from here.
Well, tell me.
I will. Let's tangent harder.
We're going to tangent harder.
More childhood policing. I was at a Shoney's once with two of my buddies.
No, you were not.
I was. We were like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 or something. So it was, it's a Shoney's. They had the breakfast buffet, right?
Oh yeah, right. No,
Yeah.
Literally, I was struggling. I was picturing Arby's in my head.
No, Shoney's.
Okay, not the
Yeah.
same. Which, by the way, I just recently discovered that Arby's it stands for roast beef. Arby's, the letter R.
Man, my mind is exploding right now.
I know, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Arby's, and they just spell it out.
They just spell it out.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what Arby's stands
Okay,
for.
anyway, so we're not at Arby's. We're at Shoney's.
We're at Shoney's, which is not the same.
Me and my buds, and we're getting the breakfast buffet because that's the only thing you should get at Shoney's, and you probably shouldn't sit in it because let me tell you, everything at Shoney's is sticky.
That's my memory as well.
As a general rule,
The syrup, it's everywhere.
It has gotten into the air. It is precipitated.
Yep.
It's like syrupy rain in that place. Anyway, I have got a big old plate of eggs. Finish them all. Go back, more scrambled eggs.
Wow.
And my 6 and 7, like first grade kids, buddies, are like getting upset. They're like telling me like I shouldn't be eating this many eggs. It's gonna make my cholesterol high.
You're joking.
I am not. I'm like, I remember it to this day. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, this is not a concern. Even as like a 5-year-old, like a 7-year-old, I knew this is one, not a concern, and 2, let me eat my dumb eggs in peace.
Right. Gaston eats way more than this.
Yeah,
I've heard it in a song.
So they're like, maybe it wouldn't have stuck with me as much, but like I remember them saying that at the table, and then like they went to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom too. And I go in, and they're talking about the eggs in the bathroom, and then, like before they realize I've like walked in, I'm like, well, it's like it is. I'm like, oh, it makes me so bad to think about. I'm like, you guys, that's not even how cholesterol works. Like, not now that I'm at 32 would know more about health.
I can tell you that as I sit here as a almost 31-year-old,
yeah,
I still don't know that I would functionally be able to explain cholesterol to you.
Well,
I know that there is a level, and I know that mine is fine.
Well, yeah. Also, I can tell you for sure that going back for seconds on the eggs at Shoney's isn't gonna kill you.
that's not like his life turned that day.
That was
he went back for seconds at Shoney's.
Where was I? How did I tangent off this? What was I talking about?
Prior to this, we were talking about cleaning out Beth's
oh, that's right.
classroom.
The markers. The markers.
The smell of markers.
Policing the marker smells as kids. So we're cleaning it out, and we come across not like one, but like 6 trays of like unopened smelly markers, the exact same brand. I remembered the box. It all came like screaming back to me, because like scents like have a way of like bringing up memories really fast.
Sure,
and it was like, not only was the packaging so unique anyway, but it was just like such a blast from the past. And it was like, they were perfect, it was like the plastic wrap was still on them. I was like, no way. And I was like, I'm going to smell these markers.
Everyone get out of my way. Clear space.
I was like, Beth, no, you have these markers? She was like, yeah. I was like, no, you don't understand. I wasn't allowed to smell these.
I feel like that exact sentiment between you and your wife, you don't understand, like, is something that I feel like I've heard you guys have, like, the conversation in real time about, like, Beth, no, you don't get it.
Anyway, that was a good, that was a real find.
I'm kind of relieved for you, because I thought for sure where that story was going to go was Beth was going to tell you not to smell the markers. And you were going to be like, I am a grown person. I will smell whichever markers I choose.
She did not care.
Thank you.
She did not care. But she also, I don't think, had the same nostalgic feeling for the markers.
Remind me, is the color brown chocolate?
I think it was chocolate, yes.
Chocolate scent?
Now that you say it, I can smell it. I can feel it in my nose pockets.
In your nose pockets?
Yeah.
What is a nose pocket? That feels uncomfortable for some reason.
No, it's just where you just like tuck away a little smell memory right there in your nose.
A smell.
A little smell memory.
A smell memory. I mean, everybody's got them. Actually, I feel like the biggest smell memory I have is to our childhood babysitter. When you walked into her house, there was sort of this like lowered living room area off to the left that had this like really atrocious kind of almost
like old lady smell.
Yes. And was the furniture covered in plastic? No, it wasn't. Mm-mm. Okay. Mm-mm. But I remember the smell. I feel like I remember the smell probably a bit better than the actual space itself.
Can I tell you that furniture covered in plastic baffles me?
You can absolutely tell me that, and I will absolutely agree with you.
Okay, because it's like, no, because the reasoning that you would have the furniture covered in plastic is so that it doesn't get dirty.
Right.
Right, so that, the fabric doesn't get dirty, which, correct, you will prevent it from getting dirty, but also you will have to sit on the plastic.
Right.
And if it's like, to what end is it not getting dirty? Are you showing this furniture? Are you reselling it?
This is like the weird thing. And couches seem to have more of a resale market, than like a mattress does. Like mattresses you don't resell. Like,
right.
As far as I'm concerned, like that is not something that like you'd throw up on Craigslist unless it is like literally the guest mattress that like was left unused and is effectively brand new.
Right. Unless you're at a hotel and you're renting a mattress for high sums of money a night, even though it's been used by hundreds of people.
Even though that, I prefer to never think of it that way.
That's what hotels are.
By the way, my favorite mattress of all time is whatever they have at Marriott's. Their entire bed is like the best. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Where was I going with this? But couches, so I recently stumbled across an article where a guy was flipping couches and claimed he was making $8,000 a month flipping couches.
Pretty good margin.
Not a bad turn.
Yeah.
But effectively, I think his process, and I found this fascinating because throughout my years, I've been one to resell on the marketplace, the Craigslist.
You've been good. You've been very active on this front.
Yes, yeah. It's definitely been something where I tended to not look at possessions. Like, I almost think too much of my possessions as investments at all times, or at least I did for a huge period of time. Like, I was always buying things that I knew that if I ever needed the money instead of the object, I could just sell it because it was things that like might hold value well.
Right.
Like a JL10W7 subwoofer, for example. Highly sought after.
Exactly.
One
Especially
person
on the
out there.
resale market.
One person out there has any idea what a JL10W7 is. But anyway, shout out to that person. I think your name is Stuart. I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
Did they buy your subwoofer?
Maybe that's who bought
That's
it.
who it came up.
But yeah, no, so apparently couches are a thing where you can like take them, especially if they have like slip covers that you can then like remove, wash, clean, take better photos of them, mark them up, and then if you've got like a truck, offer free delivery.
Yeah.
And so this guy was making, he was like selling 2-3 couches a day and making $300-400 a piece.
Hey, you can probably just get a bunch of free couches every year at the end of the semester.
Oh, like near a
everyone's like-
college?
near a college where everyone's just like, well, these are unreusable couches, and truly they should be, because if they were
anywhere near a college apartment, then they are not reusable.
Yeah, you don't want that. But I guess if you're just cruising around with the truck looking to reupholster some stuff for markup, this is a jackpot.
Oh man, okay, so speaking of college couches, now I have a story. You've sparked one in me. Okay, so there is a local home furnishing stores here in Roanoke that when you enter, they give you a Coca-Cola in a glass bottle.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
It's kind of like a fun, novel thing. And there was a period of time in high school where like maybe this was a testament to how little there was to do in Roanoke for a beat, or maybe just how creative we were at hanging out with our friends.
You know it.
But it would be the type of thing where maybe you would go to Grand, you would walk in because they would give you a free Coke in a glass bottle, which everyone knows it tastes better in a glass bottle.
Oh, Ben, there's no doubt that Coca-Cola tastes its finest coming out of a glass bottle.
No doubt. Cannot be argued. I will die on that spoon.
You will die on that spoon?
I'll die on that spoon.
Okay.
But it was sort of this thing. So like for a period of time, we were literally like abusing the generosity of this store, where we would go, and obviously we were teenagers, and obviously we weren't going to buy anything. And I think as kids, it never really occurred to me how annoying that probably was to the sales folk that were there, that like we were walking in and we were not potential leads at all. We had no ability to buy anything, and we were literally just there to go and sit in the Lazy Boys and drink a Coke.
Right. Well, it's like fun to go just sit in the big chairs and like try them out. Like, and it feels like that should be allowed.
It does
like
feel that way.
It does feel like you should be allowed to go into a furniture store and sit on the furniture.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the guilt now retroactively came from the fact that they give you something. Like
They give you a Coke.
They give you a Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that cost? Like 30 cents?
I'm sure not much.
Yeah.
I'm sure not much, but still. So anyway, but I remember that there was this summer that I was moving into my first apartment, and I was like all super jazzed, and I was like saving my money all summer so that I could buy furniture. And I think it was like the first time I ever went to like Bed Bath and Beyond and was like enamored with everything there. It was like, I'm gonna buy a clock.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Bed Bath and Beyond is a whole different store when you're an adult.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And yeah, I remember walking in and I bought a clock that only had like 1/4. It was like a square clock. It only had like 1/4 of the hand. So you saw like half of the 12 down to a 3. And it was black, and it had these orange hands that would like go around. And then they would just be like out in space, and you just had to be good enough at telling analog time.
I hate this. I am so not good enough at it.
No, me either. I'm not good enough at it either. The only thing I really knew was in like high school, when you knew like lunch meant the minute hand was at the top.
Oh, let me correct you. Yes. In high school was the height of my analog clock reading, because I knew exactly where the minute hand needed to be in every classroom for the bell to ring.
Yep.
Yeah.
No doubt. And it's actually funny because as an adult, even we work with a company called Vincero watches quite a lot for like they sponsor the YouTube channel.
Yep.
I think they've actually sponsored the pot before. I actually wear the watches all the time.
Yeah.
I have a Fitbit now, so I'm actually wearing my Fitbit currently. But it was a thing where I so wear analog timepieces on my wrist specifically for the function of the fashion,
Right.
not for its time telling abilities, because I
Yeah.
also always have my phone with me, which
Right.
I am just equally as trained to check for the time. And so it's the type of thing where somebody like every once in a while I'll be like at lunch or something and I'll see somebody like kind of like looking at my watch and they're like, hey, like what time is it? And like I will look and be like, I don't even know if I ever set the correct time on this watch, because
Right.
I had no intentions of using my watch to tell time.
Right.
It is meant to be a cool piece of metallic watch face jewelry.
Yeah.
Effectively. Yeah. That is what it does.
Yeah.
In my mind, which is so hilarious because its primary function I'm not using for at all.
It's especially the Vincera watches are like chronometers,
Yeah.
and which I guess like I don't know the specific function of a chronometer versus like a stopwatch, but I looked it up one day. I guess it's like part of like what astronauts use to like keep track of time or whatever. So they have these little functions you can press all the buttons for, and you know, like spin the second hand around and stuff, and it looks really cool. But you're right, I have like this drawer full of watches at the moment. That sounds like more watches than it is.
You have more than one.
I have more than one. I've got like one of those little things that has the little cushions to put the watches on.
No, you do not.
Yeah, well, Beth got it for me one day. She's like, I ordered you this thing to put your watches in because they're just like sort of, sitting loosely in a drawer.
I cannot. You of all people are someone that I cannot possibly imagine having your watches stored in like a little like tufted pillows.
No, I love it.
Does it look awesome?
It looks great. Yeah, it looks cool.
So cool.
It looks very cool. But sometimes I'll look across them and you can tell that like 75% of them all point at pretty much the same time.
Okay.
And then there's like definitely like 3 or 4. I'm like, definitely didn't set that one. Or you can tell like some of them are like almost at the right time, but they're like an hour off because it's been like a daylight savings time has passed or something.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So now that you describe it like this, I feel like if I were to put my watches on display, I would probably set them all to the same time for the purpose of them like the added like function of opening it and seeing like all the hands in exactly the same places.
Yeah. Well,
that would be pretty cool.
This is the other thing about the watches though, is that the second hand doesn't move. It's like what is traditionally the second hand is not moving on the Vincera watches.
Okay.
That's part of the chronometer. It's like its only purpose is to like track like time while you're timing something.
Okay.
Not to like the minute hand will be moving regardless.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something else to be aware of.
Okay, good. That makes sense. Anyway, so that was a major tangent from my original story about going into this furniture store and looking at couches.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what what is this popcast, if not tangents upon tangents upon tangents?
That's literally its exact definition.
I know, right?
We should
we should be like pre-cow culture or something.
Wait. Oh, I see what you're saying there. Yeah, because tangents.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh boy, calculus jokes. Woo. Anyway.
So there is this one period of time though where I get like the flyer for like the Labor Day weekend sale. So it's like as I'm going back to college, getting ready to move back into my apartment, and I found like one of these. It's like a 7-foot microfiber tan couch that's like $299. It's like the showroom floor special, whatever, like it's like the big sale that they had. You know, kind of like when like Best Buy on Black Friday has like the like $100 50-inch TV or something. It's like the big one they had in the flyer. And I remember walking into this store feeling like the world's biggest hot shot because like my whole like high school career, every time I've ever been into the store has exclusively always been for the purpose of going to get a free Coke and sitting in the big recliners.
Right.
And that was it. And there I was to shop.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah. And so they gave me my free Coke and I was like, cool. So I'm like walking around and I'm like trying to track down the specific couch. And I think I had like one of my buddies there with me and the girl I was dating at the time. And so there were 3 of us.
You get your entourage.
Get my entourage, obviously. I mean, got to when you're high rolling like this.
High rolling, you're buying couches?
I'm buying a couch, man. Yeah, right? It's on sale. And so like we're sitting there, we find the couch, we're like all sitting on it and sort of like speculating. And this like salesperson comes over and just starts reaming me out for effectively doing the very thing that I had done all through high school where nobody had ever yelled at me, except this time I'm actually there shopping.
Oh, wow.
So, he's like just so frustrated that we're these like young kids that are like, there just screwing around and like, whatever. And he's like giving me such a hard time about it. And I remember, and this like felt like such a pride moment in my life, but I was like, I got up and I was like, I'll take this couch. You know, and like I was like, it felt like me being like an alpha lion, something like just animalistic.
Look at you.
Pride coming out.
I can see your mane.
I know. Yeah. And you know, it's like looking back on it, it was like one of these things where I could not believe that somebody was giving me a hard time when I was actually there shopping, and I felt so cool because I was actually like, I'll take this one, box it up for me.
He didn't know he was poking Ben the Lion Carlin with a stick.
He had no idea.
He had no idea.
No idea.
No idea that you were going to drop top dollar on that discount couch.
It was going to be $326, the taxes included. Maybe.
Have we? Wait, that's an amazing story. I can't believe he was actually yelling at you.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah,
I can't believe. It would have. I can't believe you also bought the couch.
I did. Yeah. And so I had the couch for my whole college career. It was a good couch to me.
Did he get the commission on your couch?
No way. I specifically told the person ringing me up that I was like, I do not want him to get my commission because he was not helping me.
No, he was in fact yelling at me, Ben the Lion Carlin.
There's actually, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. Yeah. I may have complained to the manager.
Wow.
I may have.
Okay, Karen.
I know.
No, this seems like a legitimate reason to complain to the manager.
It was. But looking back on it, the fact that like I thought that I was like, stepping up, buying literally, I believe, what is the cheapest piece of furniture, like short of like a single dining room chair in the entire store.
Right.
You know,
I need a replacement ottoman, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I felt like the bee's knees. But then fast forward a couple of years to my senior year of college, same couch. I had this guy show up at one of my parties, and we had the love sacks, which we were talking about once upon a time.
The same guy?
No,
not the couch salesman.
Not the couch salesman.
He's not at your college party.
Could you imagine?
If he's like 20 and yelling at you.
Yeah. No, it was not the couch salesman who came to my party, but I had a love sack in my apartment in college, one, soon to be plural, but right next to it was my couch. So it was taking up this entire wall, was couch next to the love sack, and it was like me and my friend Steven and I think my friend Mike, who were all doing like front flips at this college party onto the love sack because we were just like the coolest people ever, apparently. I think there were like 8 people at this party. I call it a party. It was mostly like my friends were over. Mm-hmm. And randomly, one of my neighbors, who I had never hung out with at the time, had the door open and the music blasting, he walks over and he sees us doing these front flips onto the love sack, which makes sense because it's a gigantic beanbag chair full of memory foam.
Yeah.
Does not hurt. Super fluffy. It's like the whole idea behind it.
It's like jumping in the foam pit.
Yeah. It's like we were just having a good time. This guy walks in, sees what we're doing, promptly just like runs across my living room and front flips onto my couch. The $300 couch.
Right. The couch.
Jay, it shatters. Like the couch broke.
Wow.
It broke the couch. Literally, it was so bad that one of the pieces of wood that shattered when he front flipped onto it busted out the back of the couch and broke through the wall.
Whoa.
It put like this huge baseball sized hole into the drywall behind the couch itself. And it was like this thing where all of us, again, it's a stupid $300 couch that's like 3.5 years old, like absolutely ready to be retired already. And me and my friends were all just like furious. It was like, I can't believe.
He awoke Ben the Lion Carlin as well?
Oh, yeah. Me and this couch apparently is like the only time in my entire life where I really like turned into someone who I'm not. But I was like, yo, man, you got to leave this party. You broke my couch.
Also, you owe me $300.
Exactly. No, I actually ended up selling it for like $120 on Craigslist to a guy who wanted it for his man cave.
Oh, well,
so
there you go.
I couldn't believe it. Like the guy showed up and I was like, it's broken, right? Like I posted in the Craigslist listing that it's broken. Like I was almost trying to talk this guy out of buying my couch from me.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just going to sit on it like in my garage. And I was like, okay.
That's, okay.
But he hauled it away himself and everything.
There you go.
And then I had room for another love sack. So all was good.
No one could break that with a front flip.
Impossible.
Okay, here's my college couch story.
Oh, gosh.
Then here we go. So for the final 2 years of my college career, I lived in this townhome with 3 other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, nothing too crazy there. We got this giant sectional.
I remember the sectional, yeah.
It was So comfy.
Yeah.
So comfy.
I think I actually slept on it several times.
Yeah. Yes, that's where this story's going.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, me sleeping on it?
No.
Oh, I was like, what did you, what happened?
Yeah, no, nothing happened.
Okay.
But so anyway, I graduate college.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to tell you.
Yeah. Super good, fun time. I think it's like the summer after I graduated, so not much time has passed, and I was the only person from the house to graduate that year. Other, like, even people who were the same year as me had like another year of study for what they were doing.
Okay.
Or whatever. But I still had friends there, and so I got invited to go up to a party one night, fun times, and...
Did you guys break any couches?
Well, we didn't break any couches, but I sort of broke into a couch.
You broke... Wait, the couch?
No, well, okay. So we're at whatever party. There's, libations floating around.
I heard of those.
Yeah. And, once you're out of that college mindset, it doesn't take nearly as many libations to get you libacious.
Oh, yeah. I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm reading between the lines very clearly.
So anyway, I leave the party early, and I just, my friend who I was staying with, still at the party, so couldn't go back to his place. So I just sort of stagger back to my old house. And I was like, I bet the door's unlocked because I lived there for 2 years and the door was never locked. Sure enough, open.
Oh my gosh.
So I just head in, crash on the couch, woke up the next morning. I don't think anyone knew I was there at all. Woke up, was like, oh, I should probably go. Left, no one had any idea.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
So you literally went and spent a night on effectively, like, I guess a place you used to live in.
A place I lived in, like, pretty recently, where 3 of the people living there were my ex-roommates of 2 months. Like, no one would have cared.
No one would have cared, for sure. But at the very least, it would have been very unexpected for them to have come down and been like, why are you here?
Yeah, what are you doing here, man? But yeah, there you go.
So you crashed on basically your old couch.
But effectively.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story.
I know. I got free room and board for a night, I guess.
That's handy.
Yeah.
That's handy.
It's pretty
At least you
nice.
had somewhere to go. Although I am surprised that you would have left a party with nowhere specific. I mean, I suppose you were libacious, but with nowhere to go.
I too am surprised that the person I was visiting wasn't more curious about my whereabouts. Now that I think about it.
That is true. Yeah, it's like,
what happened to Jay? Where'd he go? I don't know. I don't know what he could have done about it. Maybe he was worried and, I was on a couch asleep. Well, I couldn't answer the phone.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
So that's my college couch story.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I bet everyone's got one. If you
probably do.
If you have a good college couch story,
Yeah.
you need to send in your story to popcornculturepod@gmail.com or head on over to our Reddit and leave your tale.
Yeah, tell us all about it.
Maybe if someone has a really good one, we'll report back on this.
Oh, yes, maybe we should do that.
The college couch.
The college couch. Okay, let's peel it back to some feedback. We were at the beach for last week.
Yeah,
so
we were.
We recorded 2 episodes ahead of going to the beach. So we've had like a while since our last recording.
Since we were last in the booth.
But in one of those episodes, we discussed a particular yellow shirt I used to wear in middle school.
Oh my gosh.
From Express.
The one that looked like it had ketchup all over
Yeah,
it.
it was a yellow shirt and looked like it had a bunch of red splotchy marks all over it.
Yeah.
But in fact, the red splotches, when viewed appropriately, are a guy playing a guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, podcast went out and someone tweets at me on Twitter, as you do, and is like, is this a shirt? Sure enough, they had totally found the shirt.
Was it their shirt?
It was not their shirt. It was like a listing on like vintageclothing.com or something.
Noise, you should have kept it, man. Sounds like it would have been worth maybe 17 to 27 DeLoreans.
Oh man, maybe. But it was so, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. There it was in all of its terrible glory. And I think what really, having a re-examine the shirt. Now, most t-shirts, have that like sort of like elastic part around the neck hole.
Yeah.
The little rim there. I think what really makes this shirt so awful is that the red splotchy goes straight into it. Like normally that is like the barrier between whatever is on the t-shirt and your neck.
Right.
There's that little elastic band. Not this shirt. Straight up. There's borderless.
Borderless.
You know?
So it just went on into
full bleed.
Wow.
Yeah. And that is just, it's like one little mark, but I feel like that's what makes it look like a spill more than a graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't seem like who's screen printing on this part of the shirt.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. But even after I had described the shirt and the problems with the shirt and told people it was someone playing a guitar. I reposted that picture in the Popcorn Culture Reddit and was like, we found the shirt. Do you see the guitar player? Like, people still couldn't see it.
No way.
You know, this is like the shirt like laid out nice and flat. So it was like, I felt myself all the way back in 8th grade be like, no, look, it's right there. Don't you see it?
Don't you see the guitar player?
How can you not see it? I was like still having that argument with like, oh, you spilled something on your shirt. I was like, no, look, you're not getting it.
I'm cool. You need to understand this. I am cool.
To me, it was like this, like, excuse me. To me, like, this shirt was effectively kind of like a riddle, but a riddle at the difficulty level of like, which side of a chicken has the most feathers, you know? And the answer
which side
is...
of the chicken does have the most feathers?
The outside, Ben.
That's
Right.
a stupid riddle.
Right. Yes, exactly. So it's like not very hard. And once it's like, okay, right. Okay. Like once someone points it out to you, it's like, okay, I got it. You know, no problem. To me, that was like the difficulty level of this shirt.
Okay.
It's like, does it look like something? It's like, as soon as like someone pointed it out to you, be like, oh, I got it. But this was like, you were told ahead of time what to look for. He's like, no, I don't see it. It's like, ugh. So the shirt, effectively, the shirt is just terrible. But if you still want to see it, it is on the Popcorn Culture Reddit, and you can go check it out.
See, okay, what I thought was funny about this shirt is we were telling our mom and dad about how we talked about that shirt on the pop, and mom and dad both were like, oh yeah, I know the exact shirt. And dad was like, it was a guy playing guitar, right? Like, wasn't it Jimi Hendrix? And
I don't think it was Jimi Hendrix.
It was not Jimi Hendrix?
No,
Okay.
because I looked up just like Jimi Hendrix t-shirts, certain that if it was him, the same pose would be on other shirts, just more obviously him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. No similar pose, which I think it almost definitely isn't, because I've also been informed by people who can see the guitar player that the person on the shirt playing the guitar is playing it wrong.
No way.
Like he's holding the neck in a spot you would never hold a guitar to play it. He's effectively holding it where the bottom part of the guitar, where the neck starts, and then just holding it straight out and also strumming. So I don't know.
Hold on, I'm re-pulling up the picture.
You're pulling it up right now.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this shirt is just so hideous.
It's so bad in so many ways.
And you wore it all the time.
I'm just determined to be like, people are gonna get it. You know, like this was the sort of thing that I think it's so easy to do when you're young. It's like so hard not to stick to your guns. Or it's just like, no, this is how it is. Or like people are gonna get it. It's like, if I could have just accepted like, this maybe isn't a cool shirt, I'll just stop wearing it, no big deal. Like, that would have just been such a better solution instead of doubling down on my beliefs that like, no, people will think it's cool, they just have to get it.
They just have to
It's
get
just,
it.
Like, at some point you just have to accept like, this just actually isn't like, have you ever had a joke where you're like, and it like every time there's an opportunity to like say this line that you find hilarious, you'll like spit it out there and repeatedly no one will laugh. And you're like, no, okay, I delivered. Next time. I'm gonna get it next time.
I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna take this as a sign that this joke doesn't work. I'm just gonna try harder.
I'm gonna try harder next time. It's like eventually you just realize that joke's just not funny. You just gotta move on. Like, I'm sorry, you could enjoy it privately, but it's just not funny.
Yeah, no, I think that this has happened because I think especially you and I almost seem to speak like our own language a little bit, where we would grow up watching all of the same movies, obviously, because we lived in the same roof, and I feel like we very, very frequently like quoted things. Like we were like the type of people who would like constantly be saying something and it was always a quote from something.
Right.
And we both knew what it was from, which always made it like, oh, I like, that thing.
That's funny. Yeah.
And then you would frequently say it to someone else who had no idea, and you'd like try to explain it as if it was going to have just the same level of impact. And it's like, you just gotta see it. You gotta see it.
Yeah, you gotta see this movie.
Yeah.
People have been doing this forever. On that, I have another note here of a similar an adjacent situation.
Okay. Good to know how related we are.
Yeah, right. Always important.
Always important.
So, I think, have we talked on the pop about the podcast, The Thrilling Adventure Hour?
We have.
Okay, so on the Thrilling Adventure Hour, one of the shows they had was something called Sparks Nevada, and one of the little quirks about Sparks, the main character, Marshall on Mars, he's from Earth, is that he would use the word reckon.
Yeah.
A lot, like, you reckon? Or like if someone was like asking him for agreement, he'd be like, reckon. I reckon so.
Yeah.
So I, since we've talked about it on the pop, I've like been just using the word reckon a lot. Like It's like, no, it's like, it's so funny to say reckon. Because it's like, it's always a joke when he's saying it.
Oh, right,
You know?
yeah.
Like, and I think it's Mark Evan Jackson is the voice of Sparks Nevada, and he has such a good delivery, and it's like every time he says it, it's just like a little. All right, that was funny. But so I've just been saying it, and I realized this morning Beth asked me a question, and I just responded with it completely non-ironically. Like it has just become
Like it has become part of your vocabulary.
Yeah. Reckon it has.
Reckon that.
Reckon it has.
That is so funny. That is so funny. So now, but that I feel like is very. I feel like that's exactly how I used to communicate. Like we've talked about this before too. But like I always start or very frequently would start like AOL Instant Messenger conversations by saying like howdy.
Oh yeah.
You know, instead of like and like hey, what's up? Hello.
Yeah.
Any of the more common versions of, you know, introduction.
Yeah.
But this is just something that like I say to people now all the time. Like, you know, like I'll like walk up to people I've never met before and I'll say howdy. And very frequently they're all like, don't hear that very often. And I'm like,
all right, Tex.
right, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, sometimes it lands really well. More often than not, I feel like the thing that happens, especially when I pass people on the street, if I'm like walking my dog, I'll like, you know, they'll walk by, I'm like, howdy.
Yeah.
Which is something I legitimately do. Like I'm not exaggerating. I feel like I can't get it to like come out naturally while I'm like trying to fake it. But
Yeah.
I really do say this all the time.
Yeah.
People always think I'm saying like, how are you? But like just sort of like slurring it.
Yeah.
So one thing that keeps happening with my like, you know, the people in my neighborhood is I'm saying howdy to them and they say like, good, how about you?
Like they have got such a locked and loaded response to how are ya?
Yeah.
I've done that before. Yeah, I'm just responding mechanically, not really listening. And it's like, what's up? Good, how are you? Oh, never mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, one of them that gets me is drive-through lines. Frequently people are like, enjoy your meal. And I'm like, you too. And it's like, oh man, you're probably not eating right now like I am.
Yeah. You do. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so another phrase I've got like this is whenever we're about to leave for a place,
Yeah.
like we're in the act of leaving, I will say the phrase, we ride.
we ride.
We ride. And it, like in my mind, I'm like, we're getting on horses, you know?
Right.
I
Goes
don't know-
well with howdy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, man, are we supposed to be cowboys?
Jay.
You know? We got howdy. We ride.
We are supposed to be cowboys.
Reckon?
I reckon.
I reckon.
Hey, even that feels like it totally fits.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, Sparks Nevada, Marshall on Mars is a cowboy.
Is a cowboy. Maybe this is something like we didn't realize so much, but like, you know, growing up, maybe like watching Woody, you know, from Toy Story, maybe we were like being slowly coerced into wanting to become cowboys.
You think it was Woody is the source of it?
Yeah, well, could be. I mean, who would you say is a more influential cowboy in your life than Woody?
Then Woody, I don't know. Don't know.
Reach for the sky.
He doesn't even have a gun anyway.
No, he doesn't, but he does have a holster.
He does have a holster.
Oh,
We made a video
man.
about that.
We did. Okay.
Some people at home are like, oh my God, he doesn't. Why does he say that?
I know, yeah. So they can hold a match eventually.
Yeah, so that he could hold a match eventually. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna shift gears entirely.
Okay.
You have a note here in the show notes that I'm like very curious to know what is going on.
Okay.
You say people are determined to tell you that Luke's hair is going to be darker and his eyes are going to change color.
Oh, dude, this is such a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, okay, we'll back it up.
We'll back it up. Back it up.
Okay, we'll back it up. This past week we were at the beach. Luke, my son, my 2-year-old, was, you know, we're out, you know, we're outside a lot. And so, you know, we put all the sunscreen on him, and throughout the week he got like the lightest of tans.
Okay.
Which was great. Well, I don't know if it's great, but he also has like Targaryen level blonde hair.
He does.
You know, like,
he does.
Like if you've seen Game of Thrones and you know, like Daenerys, Khaleesi's hair color, same as my son. It is bright blonde.
So, I mean, he will be immune to fire.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. Especially dragon fire.
Especially Dragonfire. Yeah. You've heard of Ben the Lion Carlin. Wait for Luke the Dragon. It's going to be great.
Wow. Look at
Yeah.
us. Wait, does this mean I'm a Lannister?
Oh, maybe it does.
No, it
Wow.
can't.
But they're the ones with the blonde. No, they also have blonde hair.
They just
And you
also
do have copper hair.
Well, no,
Well.
it came out of a bottle.
kind of a bottom.
It's not my natural shade.
Do you always pay your debts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, great credit score.
Wow. There
Yeah.
you go. Maybe you are a Lannister.
It doesn't feel like a credit score. Feels like such a weird thing, but effectively that's what the Lannisters were known for. Having a great credit score.
Impeccable.
Like the best. An
The-
850.
Yeah. Anyway, because he had a bit of a tan, his extremely blonde hair was looking even blonder against the new darkness of his skin.
Yeah.
Right, so I just posted a little Instagram picture of him, and I, as the caption put, if possible, I think Luke's hair is getting even blonder. And sure enough, I got a comment that I've been getting since the day he was born.
Right.
Which was that his hair is it's probably gonna get darker, because if you don't know, my son, yeah, he has the very blonde hair, and
Yep.
he's got these like very bright blue eyes.
Yep.
Which is like, I don't know, it's like, I love it. I love how blonde his hair is, and I love how blue his eyes are. It's like blonde hair, blue eye, like so adorable.
Oh, yeah.
It's like crazy. And like the blonde hair is obviously getting from Beth, because if you look at pictures of her as a baby, she's
Same
got
thing.
the bright blonde hair.
And she's still
and
blonde
she's still
to this
very
day.
blonde.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know where the blue eyes are coming from, but it's like, I so hope he keeps them, because I love it. It's like, it's just, yeah, it's great. But people are determined to tell me that his hair is going to get darker and his eyes are going to change color. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, no. Why are you raining on my parade?
Oh, like this
Like-
is something like you're like, okay, so I feel like that's probably what's happening, because I'm sure that there are people out there that are just like, they're maybe underestimating how enamored you are with this like pairing.
Maybe.
Is what I assume happens. Or else maybe they also know like, that's a good combo, but like,
That's what I feel like. I feel like they're like it's gonna make them feel better to think that this thing is this awesome pure cuteness is gonna just like dissipate.
Right.
Like they're like, I'm gonna feel better about myself. Like, I don't have blonde hair and blue eyes, but it makes me feel better that eventually this kid won't either.
Oh,
That's how that is the sentiment I get from everyone, and it's like, I don't know why people are so determined to tell me this. I don't like it's very frustrating. So if you are out there and you are leaving comments about the blondness of my son's hair or the blueness of his eyes, please do not tell me how they're going to change color. Because one, I don't think they are.
Do not at me.
Do not at me.
I get you. Okay, well, so I need a counter just for the sake of countering then, because you've seen childhood photos of me before, right?
Yeah.
Which was at least somewhat similar.
Well, you didn't have the blue eyes, but you had blonde hair for sure.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have to.
I don't know if you had the Targaryen fireproof hair that Luke has.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe what we'll do. I'm gonna try to track down a good photo, and we'll put it up on the show notes or the Reddit or somewhere. We'll find a young Ben Carlin so that we can see.
Yeah.
Because there is an interesting thing that happened. Like, you as a baby had like Harry Potter hair. Like it was like black.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like you were like this little baby with this like amazing head of hair.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely incredible. But then now as adults, I feel like you and I have actually like switched entirely, where I started off very like light hair, and now I think mine's darker than yours. And you started out with super dark hair, but now most people call you like a dirty blonde.
Yeah, I posted on Twitter one day because I was curious. I was just, what color is my hair?
Yeah.
And I left like some poll options as like blonde, brown, dirty blonde, sandy blonde. And it was just curious how all over the board it was.
Oh yeah.
Just like, I don't even know. I like, if my hair gets wet, it looks obviously brown
Right.
to me. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call myself like blonde or anything.
No, I wouldn't either. And that's the funny thing that too, though, is that like, I don't know. I'm trying to think now. I feel like a lot of people, I know very few adults whose hair is super blonde, where it's blonde in that way naturally.
Right.
Like, I think we have like one girlfriend of ours who has like blonde hair, mega blonde hair. That's the only person I can think of, though, where it's like very, very, very apparent. Where almost everybody else, I imagine there's some level of like additional coloring going on
happening.
But maybe we're just not friends with as many blonde people.
Well, I don't know. And I think it's pretty natural as you grow up for your hair to get like a little bit darker.
Sure.
But like, to hear people like, I don't know, it still bothers me. It's like as if they're saying like, don't like, oh, that blonde gonna fade entirely. Like, if he grows up and his hair is darker than it is now, but still blonde, I'm not gonna count that as like, if he grows up and has black hair, I'll be like, wow, you were right.
Right.
But if he grows up
yeah.
and has less blonde hair, but still obviously blonde hair, it's gonna be like, okay, see, just Okay.
Okay. Do you feel like, is there any part of you that we get like 10 years down the future, go and find those comments and be like, see, I told you.
That's right. Yes.
It's like, I've been waiting 10 years for this.
Waiting.
Cracks knuckles.
Get ready.
Oh my gosh, that's actually kind of amazing. That was okay. I have had this happen one time ever. So like I usually don't feed the trolls. Like if there's someone who is like saying something negative to me, about me, near me, in any type of like online digital presence, for the most part, I don't engage. I'm just sort of like, not worth it. You know, I feel like this will only, usually I would actually tell you that like my exact interpretation of the situation is that it will make me look bad to defend myself on a public forum like this. And
yes, I know what you mean.
yeah, so it's like, it's just like, you know, it's fine. You know, if you have a negative thought about me, then that is going to exist and continue to exist unacknowledged. But once upon a time, especially as I started getting into rock climbing, it was funny because I was watching this TV show Arrow, and people started making this like connection where they were like, man, you look a lot like Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
Like that was like sort of like the celebrity doppelganger that people kept assigning me to, because I've got shorter hair, kind of like the 5 o'clock shadow, and I was doing like all the crazy rock climbing stuff, which was making me at the time, like, I don't know, of the right fitness something. So like where I could do a salmon ladder,
right?
Like the thing that he's always doing with like the do.
Yeah.
I definitely was not that ripped.
No.
Not by a mile. Not by 3 miles. Let's be clear. I did not look like Stephen Amell while Stephen Amell is doing the salmon ladder in the Arrow TV show. But I think there was someone once upon a time who like made a comment and was like, you know, bro, why don't you try hitting the gym a little bit and maybe then we'll see. And there is like one picture of me from one of our December give-a-thons from several years ago where I think I was doing like a holding pike on a couple of kettlebells. And my arms look unrealistically huge in this photo.
Yeah, you moved that structure.
No, I didn't move the structure.
No?
I did not move the structure.
Okay.
Nothing was like, I didn't edit it at all. It's just I will acknowledge entirely that is a flattering photo of me.
Okay.
I think we were giving away a Mr. Incredible action figure.
Right. So you were trying to like,
I was trying to like look
the,
Mr. Incredible.
Mr.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So that was like the theme of the photo or whatever. But I remember like just taking that picture and replying to the guy with it and be like, I'll see what I can do. And that was like the most that I've ever been like, come at me. Which was ridiculous because me also very, very aware of the fact that there's a fitness difference between Stephen Amell, superhero on TV, and Ben Carlin.
Yeah.
You know, occasional weightlifter. Yeah.
Especially in these uncertain times.
Especially that. So anyway, that's funny though. I think it's interesting just the way, I think you should 10 years from now.
Yeah.
I think we reassess. Someone set a calendar event in their phone. Just be like, you know, hey, remind me in 10 years, Jay needs to check in on the color of his son's hair.
Right. What's it looking like these days?
Yeah.
Blonde as the sun, you know it.
You
no
know
question.
It. You know it. Okay, well, slightly related.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing we can talk about while we're on the topic of hair.
Yeah.
I've been working on my yeared.
Oh, your yeared, yeah.
My yeared, yeah.
You've been getting feedback.
Huh?
Yep.
Oh, which has been interesting, man, because I saw my father-in-law the other day for like the first time, I don't know, since Father's Day or something like that. And his immediate reaction was like, whoa, you have a beard. And I was like, it was actually strange for me because I was like, I've always had a beard.
Yeah, like I've had a beard for a while.
I was like, I mean, this is like years, you know, like I've always had one, you know, like what are you talking about? And so I think the interesting thing that's happening, about a month and a half into my yeard right now, and I think that is becoming much more obvious that there is like facial hair on my face in a way that makes me feel like I was drastically overestimating the beard that I had previously.
Right.
Where I feel like a lot of people may have just assessed my facial hair as like, oh, he just hasn't shaven in a few days.
Right.
Like that's like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not the way I saw it.
Right. You're like, I have a beard.
I have a beard.
I could go to conventions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am part of Beardgram.
I had bought beard oil before.
Right,
I was like, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm like, did I not have it? Hold on.
Yeah. Have I just had hair on my chin for the past 5 years?
Yeah, I think that's
Right.
basically what's been going on.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, it's been getting very, very different reactions. And I would say the biggest thing that I noticed was that when I was at the beach and I went underwater, it had like a body of its own, so I could like feel
Oh,
it
wow.
like floof forward.
You could feel it floof.
I could feel it floof. Yeah.
So is that the test? Does your beard floof?
Does your beard floof?
Because if it don't floof it, no beard.
Precisely.
Exactly.
But so in the meantime, while working on my beard, you worked on a weird.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were on vacation, so I didn't shave while we were at the beach at all. So yeah,
Wow.
after a week, I had a solid a 1 week beard, better known as a weird.
A weird.
A weird.
I love it.
I did post a picture of that also on the Popcorn Culture Reddit. If anyone wants to see what my 1 week weird looks like, I've shaven since then.
Oh man.
Yeah, you couldn't tell?
I couldn't tell.
Does it look the same?
No, it looks different.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I can see the difference.
Yeah, I find a weird thing at the beach. Not only a lot of times on vacation, I just don't shave because it's just like I don't want to like spend all the time doing that. But I also, especially at the beach, find that I don't wear my glasses a whole lot.
Okay.
Because one, I'm wearing sunglasses a lot, and it's like I'm not gonna bring my glasses down to the beach, or I'm gonna have sunglasses on.
Oh, can you
And-
imagine?
Well, yeah, right. It's so sunny. Like when you wear glasses and you're out in bright sun for extended periods of time, whew, that sure is a headache waiting to happen.
No, that's true.
Yeah, can't have that. So there's that. But then they'll just sort of like be left on like my nightstand and I'll come in. And it's not like when you're at the beach, you're not like needing to read stuff at a distance very often. You're sort of around the family and it's like, they just know what I look like anyway. I'm not really like trying to like dress up. So I always find it weird that like I can get, like basically I just didn't wear my glasses for like a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird phenomenon.
So like to be a glasses free person.
Yeah.
But I think that's the funny thing about it though, is that I could not have told you that you weren't wearing your glasses for the past week.
See, there
like
you go.
I feel like I'm so exposed to both versions of your appearance that like it's like it didn't even register to me that something was different.
Right. Yeah.
And that's weird for me to think about.
Yeah, you've been around me so much. So actually, at one point, Beth and I had gone for a run, and obviously I wasn't wearing my glasses, but she just like sort of looked over and she's like, "Wow, your hair looks really good right now." And I was like, "Really?" And I just like checked it out, took a photo. I can share it with you if you'd like.
Oh, I would love to see it.
Okay, let's see it.
Yeah,
I'll pull it
yeah.
up so you can sort of get an idea of what we're going for here.
So they're like this is like best case hair situation.
Well, this was just like Beth was like, "Wow, this is like a
Hey, wow.
See it?
Yeah.
not bad."
You're gonna have to share that with the world now.
Maybe I will. I'll post it. I'll post that over on the Reddit so you can get my hair down look.
Yeah.
But Beth is like-
alt hair options.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know why it looks so different. All of a sudden, it's like because I'm not wearing my glasses, and because like the difference is, for I don't know whatever reason, if my hair is down with my glasses on, it looks terrible, and if it's up without my glasses on, it also looks a little silly.
Oh, interesting.
like-
Take your glasses off right now.
Hold on, yeah,
Wow, completely silly.
completely silly.
I'm like trying to hold back. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So this is like a weird thing because like almost simultaneously. Like when I was like started wearing glasses full time is when the first time I got a job and I got a new pair of glasses and it was like the black rimmed glasses and I was
Yeah.
like, this is my chance. I'm just gonna like totally change my appearance. So I started wearing glasses. I started putting my hair up some, and then like it occurred to me at some point like there's like those two things went together. It's like the glasses and the hair go together as much as the no glasses and the down hair.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was weird.
Interesting. Yeah. No, that's it's pretty fascinating. That's actually I feel like that's become I'm having like a similar like I'm building out like my like lumberjack look.
Yeah.
Which keeps being like my forward facing brimmed hat with my sunglasses and my beard.
Uh-huh.
And like it's actually been kind of nice. Like I sort of in some weird ways like the anonymity associated. Did I pronounce that right?
No, I don't think so.
Anonymity. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Nope.
Just say it again.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Don't hurt yourself.
Don't hurt yourself. It's a hard word to pronounce.
Yeah.
I like it though. With the mask on, sunglasses and hat, like I could literally be anyone. You know? It's
Who
like
knows? Yeah.
people can't see me.
Who knows? Is that Stephen Amell?
It could be Stephen Amell. Doesn't look like he's quite ripped enough, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if you could pull
No.
back the bow that far. but
This was something I remember having this experience once at a Halloween party several years ago. I bought one of those T-Rex costumes, like the inflatable
Uh-huh.
big ones.
Yeah.
And up until that particular moment in my life, I had always always been this thing where I did not dance. Do you you remember like this was like a thing? It was like if people were like, "Oh, we're going out dancing," it would be like, I would rather do literally anything else other than go dancing because I don't know how to dance.
Right.
Like, and that's not going to be a place where I'm going to feel confident, and it feels like a place where lots of other people around me will feel confident, and that's going to make me feel less confident.
Snowball.
And so I was like really just like anti-dance, and I remember there was this like really bizarre moment where I like was walking into the party, and of course wearing an inflatable T-Rex costume immediately makes you like a very big center of focus. Because,
you're like, whoa, there's a dinosaur here.
And it's huge.
Yeah, it's big.
You know? So I remember I was like one of the first times I like went to a party with Alice, and I walk in and this like guy in a, whatever costume walks up to me and immediately challenges me to like a dance off. And for whatever reason, inside of the T-Rex costume, I'm like, people can't see me. I can do whatever I want.
Right.
I'm invincible.
Exactly.
Like, and it was so weird. And so like I remember walking in and like these were all fresh people, all of like, her group of friends, like where I had not met like anyone yet. And I remember just like straight up breaking it down in my T-Rex costume. And I was like, how could I do that?
What just happened?
Was it in me this whole time?
It was, Ben.
And I feel like, yeah, that may be the core of the apple.
That's the core of the apple.
Is that apparently I can dance if nobody's paying attention. So anyway, hat, glasses, mask, now beard means basically I can break it down whenever I want.
There you go.
That's what I'm getting at.
Be dancing wherever.
Be prepared for way more dancing from one Ben Carlin.
All it takes is a dinosaur costume for Ben to be the lion.
Yeah. Ever since my couch buying days.
That's right.
I haven't had so much pride since then.
I've experienced a very similar thing. Where I too was like behind a mask for whatever reason, and there is this like weird like
Jay, the word is anonymity.
Yeah, anonymity. It almost feels like power or something. You're just like, no one knows. Like, who could this be? You could just do anything.
Yeah. Oh man.
Weird.
The pure glory of it.
That sounds kind of creepy. I feel like the way I'm saying it.
It does. No, completely. But the thing is that it's not like, to me, it wasn't like my ability to go and do things to other people. It was the ability for me to do anything like feel confident enough to dance, because like I was relieved of the potential pressure of it being tied to like me dancing poorly and people like saying that about me as if like that's what people would say.
Right.
And so it was like this great big fear that's how, I don't know, and probably for no reason. I feel like since this discovery, I have also paid more attention to people dancing and maybe realized that almost everyone equally doesn't know what they're doing. Like nobody is out there dancing like the flamenco or something, like where they're doing a choreographed, learned set of dance moves on. I actually don't know what the flamenco is. It's possible that that's like riffing, but you know what I mean. Like it's not like a structured ballroom dance where people are like have learned.
People are just like feeling the music and just sort of moving their body accordingly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like basically my best version of that is like the wacky waving inflatable balloon arm man.
Right.
That's pretty much what my dancing looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
everyone has their own style.
Everyone has their own style.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, as we're closing out this week's episode of The Pop, we do have one special, possible, secret popcorn culture project. I can't even say that I've been working on, but that I have had in motion since I believe the month of May.
Wow.
It's been quite some time now, but we have commissioned I'm going to call it a set, if you will, for a video version of The Pop.
Well, okay. Yes. What have you been working on?
What have I been working on? Well, so I had what I wanted. I sort of had this like vision in my mind for what I imagined, because for Super Carlin Brothers, we talk about Disney and Pixar and Star Wars and Harry Potter and Marvel and stuff.
Right.
So like our backdrop reflects that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know what to do for popcorn culture because it's so different. And so especially because we're just sitting here, you know, like there are no visual assets. The whole idea is that you just hear us.
Yeah.
But if you want to see us as well, that's what I wanted. I wanted the ability to like have a visual representation of the pop.
Right.
And so with that, I had commissioned a like large sign that we're going to be able to like mount on the wall behind us that we can sit in front of that says pop, pop.
Pop, pop.
Pop, pop.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, okay, this is not related. Well, it is related, but like I started watching the TV show Community, and now I realize that pop, pop predates
Yeah.
us.
Right.
Pop, pop.
Pop, pop. Who is it's like? What is the character who says it on
Oh,
Community?
I feel like his name is like the Magnificent or something. He's got like a
yeah, he has like a funny name like that.
Yeah.
I think of it. Hold on, let's see.
Are you gonna look it up?
I'm gonna look it up. Let's see. Magnitude.
Magnitude.
Yeah.
What did I say? The Magnificent.
Magnificent.
I was not that
Pretty
far
close,
off. Although
yeah.
I did watch it yesterday, so it's not my memory being good. It's my memory being terrible.
Yeah.
But no, I felt like it was a shout out to me from the past every single time they said it on screen. I was
You're like, whoa, look at this.
look at that. They're a big fan of the pop, clearly.
Clearly, we're making waves in pop culture.
There we go. Anyway, guys, we need to give a huge thank you to this week's new patrons, including Dylan Lavelle, Gasper Bentoncourt, Ali McClure, Jesse Seto, Dalton Bissell, Frozen Rocket Fuel Studios, Jake Westfall, Dane Anderson, Sam Dahl, Ryan Earth, Oerth, Earth. I'm going with it. And
it.
Katarina Oh, it's the last one.
Yeah, Jirash. Katarina Jirash.
We'll get it right.
Katarina Kitty Cat. That's a character from Daniel Tiger.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Is it one of your favorites?
No.
No.
Most of the whole cast of Daniel Tiger, all of his little friends have like a little gimmick about them or something. Like Katarina Kitty Cat will always end sentences with meow meow. Or
Meow,
she'll just
meow.
like add meow meow in the middle of sentences, meow meow. And it's just like, oh, it's so annoying. What are some of the other ones? Oh boy. Miss Elena, who's a little girl, they always call her Miss Elena.
Okay.
Is constantly wearing a backwards dress, and she'll constantly make backwards jokes. And it's just like, I'm gonna do things backwards. And it's just like, that's just not that funny.
That's not
it's
a
like,
thing?
It's like that's not a thing, Miss Elena. Okay. And then what does Prince Wednesday do? He'll always go boop she boo, which is really annoying. Yeah. And then the Owl is my least favorite. You would think he'd be fine. He's like really into books.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yeah, that's like his whole thing. He's into books. But there's a whole episode where he refused. They're at school and the teacher gave them a box, and it's just like, you get to imagine whatever you want with the box. And he's like, nope, it's a box. I don't believe in imagination. It's like, it's just like he's having such trouble with it. It's like, dude, all you do is read. Reading is just imagining things. Oh, so annoying.
Oh, so
When
you
you try and have
feel
too
like
much.
it's a bad character or like bad story arc for the character.
Well, not that they really have story arcs in general, but I will say they do a good job with the characters being really consistent.
Oh, that's good.
And stuff with that. But the only child character I really like is Daniel himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it sounds to me like eventually we're gonna have to branch into fan theories.
Oh, about Daniel Tiger?
About Daniel
About
Tiger.
how X the Owl and Helena Pussycat are totally dating?
What?
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Mind blown.
That's the Owl's uncle and Katarina Kitty Cat's mom, who, let me just say, all four of them live in the same tree. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
One tree. One tree, two adults, no spouses. Also, where are the Owl's parents? I don't know. He's just living with his uncle.
Huh.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense to me
Makes
either.
sense to me.
Well, it sounds like there's more than enough for us to dig into there. Hopefully we have lots of other Daniel Tiger fans out there who are like, yes, finally the DT content we needed.
Yeah, no one's listening anymore.
Everyone bailed. Guys, thank you so
bailed.
much for tuning in. If you would like to have your name read at the end of the pop, you can go and check us out over at patreon.com/popcornculture. We have 3 tiers. They all do the exact same thing and come with a bonus 10 to 15 minutes of after the final pop, which is just additional content of Jay and I talking a bit more. Again, that's popcornculture.com. No, again, that's patreon.com/popcornculture.
That's right.
Nailed it that time.
Nailed it.
Until next week.
Pop.